6 rallies over 6 months, from the rugged east coast of New Zealand's North Island to the winterless north, the frigid south of Otago, the sunny Nelson Hills. The Vantage Aluminium New Zealand Rally Championship is back on. Over 30 entries, including the 4-wheel drive production cars, the high-revving hybrid Kiwi 2 class, and a record field of genuine rally classics will battle it out for the 2008 Gold Star crown. Welcome to Wairarapa, a proud province with a pioneering spirit, rich in history, rich in rally rides. The perfect place to start. The Vantage Aluminium Joinery New Zealand Rally Championship for 2008. I'm Clint Brown. Glad you could join us. Well, as you can see, it's dawned a beautiful day. The first day of the 6 rounds of the National Championships from April through to September. 4 on the North Island, 2 on the South Island. 2 international rallies. Rally Whangarei, part of the Asia Pacific Rally Championships, and Rally New Zealand, part of that very exciting WRC, the World Rally Championships, the greatest show on gravel. 3 former champions are back to try and grab, well, not the golden shears as they do here in Masterton, but the Gold Star as the National Rally Champion. Chris West, Richard Mason, the hometown hero who's unbeatable on these roads, and also Roger Davis caught up with Sam Murray, the defending champion, at the ceremonial start to see if he can hang on to his title in 2008.
Yes, Clint, defending champion, but Sam, it's the new year, new rally championship.
It's going to be a tough one this year as well. You know, the roads today are looking a lot of gravel on them. It's going to be tough. You know, we've got Mark Tapper back, we've got Westy there. These guys that have perhaps been away for a couple of years have got perhaps a clearer road further back there. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough year.
And, of course, you've got a new co-driver in the car, someone from UK.
You know, we've got Andrew Ruffhead. He competes sort of 35 to 40 events a year over there, and he seems really, really good.
Also flying the Subaru flag, ex-champion Richard Mason, who will start as favourite in his hometown event.
Richard, a bit of a change this year. First round of the National Championship, it's your home event. You've never been beaten here.
I know, like, what an awesome way to start for us. Now we've got to turn it into a result. We've got another car. We've, put it all together and it's ready to go. We did some testing on Monday and found some funny setup that seemed to be working really good. So I think we'll turn it into good gravel road driving.
Feeling confident?
Yeah, I think so. We've got as good a go at this as we have in the past. We've won it every year in the Wairarapa, so we need to just do it again.
Also, watch out for Emma Gilmore. She'll start 7th on the road as the 3rd-ranked Subaru driver. But for her, big changes inside the car.
Yeah, we've got Jeff Judd now co-driving for me and Simon Curry aboard as team manager. So, yeah, really looking forward to the season.
Jeff Judd's come to the team with a big reputation. Of course, he's a driver as well. Could help you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's hugely experienced and, we get on really well. We've done an event together before and, I think it'll work really well this year.
Under the watchful eye of Neil Allport from Rally Art New Zealand, the Mitsubishi Challenge will be led by a strong pairing of former champions, Chris West and last year's runner-up, Hayden Padden.
You know, we've got obviously the new team, car, a new bunch of guys to work with, along with, Neil, Rally Art, and, we're really looking forward to that. And I think at the end of the day, we're in the best place for the championship. And, these guys have got a vast amount of experience, not only here in New Zealand, but in the PWRC and so forth. So, there's certainly plenty to learn, and we're one step at a time.
Good to have some pressure from a young driver.
Oh, absolutely. And he's, South Canterbury as well. So, of course, he'll go good, mate.
At this time last year, we talked to you about the championship and you were saying, hey, top 5 would be good, but it all changed pretty soon, didn't it?
Yeah, it changed, I guess, after Whangarei when we won there, and then all of a sudden we went from top 5 to wanting to win, and this year it's a little bit different. We know that we can compete at the top, so the goal was to win this year and to be as dominant as we can.
Rotorrua's Dean Sudbury built a brand new Evo 9, but teething problems pre-season means he'll campaign the car he had success with in 2007.
We only made a decision last week to run the old car, so unfortunately it hasn't had a fresh motor or turbo, but I'm sure it'll be okay.
So it's basically as it came off the stage at Nelson last year.
Yeah, it was still dirty from Nelson last year, so basically just give it a wash and here we are.
And making a welcome return to the front of the field, it's Mark Tapper. He's left the Ford Fiestas for a crack at the top spot in a Rally Drive New Zealand Mitsubishi.
Enjoyed driving the Fiesta a lot, but sort of need to step up and fight with the big boys again, and hopefully we'll do just that this weekend.
How did the deal come together? I believe it's Dale Perry's car.
Yeah, Dale Perry from Rally Drive NZ has given us a lot of help, with the car to use for the event, and at this stage we're just doing it on an event-by-event basis, but we're here, and so we'll concentrate on doing a good job this weekend.
With this rally, traditionally the gravel on the road has been a problem, but you're starting in a great position, number 8.
Got a smile out of me with that one. Yeah, it's it was certainly smiling all day today and Recce every time we saw the gravel, and hopefully it will be swept off by the time we get there, and the Hankook tyres will be working well.
Nearly half the field in this opening event was made up of two-wheel drive cars, led by Aaron Cook's Honda Jazz.
This is our third year of running the Jazz. We brought it off Dave Strong 3 years ago and ran it and won the championship the first year out, and then we were third last year. So yeah, it's a really good car. It seems to be going really well.
Mitsubishi driver Patrick Malley has moved to the Ford Fiesta class, attracted by the end-of-year prize.
I mean, you get the chance to go overseas, you get full support, and if you're good enough, if you're passionate enough and you work hard enough, you get the chance to work for BP World Rally Team. I mean, who wouldn't want to?
Bert Murray will once again lead the classic field in the main freight RX-7. But last year's champion, the flying Ewan Fuge, will be hoping his consistent times will again prove a winning formula in the mighty Mazda.
We'll see what Bert and that does and Rob does, but we'll have a go at it.
Bit of new competition this year with the Escorts. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's been a long time coming. We should have had one here early days, but we'll see how we go.
And yes, for the first time in the championship, 2 Ford Escorts line up to challenge the Mazdas. One an international flavour from Aussie, the other a local lad from Lower Hunt.
Oh, this will be awesome tomorrow. It'll be absolutely brilliant. It's a Mark II Escort RS 2000 BDA with 5-speed, and it's a Group 4 spec car. So about 180 horsepower at the wheels. Don't stand behind it when we're in anger.
And what's your background in rallying?
I did my first rally in 1988 actually, in a little Corolla, Wellington to Wairarapa rally, and we started at Shelley Bay in Wellington and ended up here in Masterton that night.
Sam Murray led the field over the start ramp on Friday night in Masterton, and in anticipation of the third stage to be run on Saturday morning, let's check him out with Emma Gilmore, the Vantage Stage Preview.
Day one of Rally Wairarapa sees us head to the Pongaroa region. Fantastic roads out here, really twisty and very technical, but we've never seen these roads at this time of the year in April. Could be quite dusty, and with our 1 minute gaps that could prove quite a problem. Stage 1, Manihara Road at 22 k's is going to be a real wake-up call for the championship. Really twisty to start with, it then opens out after a junction left over the bridge at about 13 k's and becomes very, very fast. Then stage 2, Remy Road, a bit of a short stage, 9 kilometres long. It's mainly downhill, and again it's quite tight and technical, and can sometimes be quite gravelly, which makes it real hard work again. Stage 3, Waihoki Valley Road, another great stage. Starts fantastic, nice and flowing through countryside, then gets into a real tight technical section. The road's only as wide as the car, so you need to be very precise and you really get your heart rate up with lots of hairpin corners and everything. Really cool stage, really enjoy it, just before we head to Service Park at Pongaroa. Stage 4 is the longest stage of the rally at 35 k's. Another fantastic stage. Starts off quite tight and technical again, and then we climb up over a ridge. Again, coming down the other side, there's some big drops on the right hand side, and the brakes and the tyres get a real workout. Fast at the end, but just enough corners in there just to keep you on your toes. Stage 5 is a repeat of Stage 1. This stage will be heaps more fun to drive this time because all the gravel will be swept off and we'll have heaps more grip than the time through in the morning. Stage 6, Porry Road, another great stage. Starts off really fast and flying through all this countryside, and then you come around this left-hander and there's just views for Africa, and there's big drops on the right-hand side. The road becomes very tight, narrow, technical again, opens out again to the finish. Stage 7, North Road, another great stage to finish off at the end of the day. More similar to the stages we do tomorrow, but yeah, nice fast-flowing, tarmac section in the middle, awesome fun.
Coming up after the break, thick gravel slows the front runners and the underdogs take the rally lead. So plenty of great changes to watch out for with the championship, and it all starts today in magnificent conditions. It's the Trust House Racetech Rally of the Wairarapa. 255 Ks, 15 special stages, 2 legs over 2 days. The biggest change is pump house fuel. They're using basically fuel you can buy from the service station. And Roger Davis, that's created what? A real dilemma for the race crews this weekend.
It certainly has. What they've done is they've had to set the car up, or set the cars up quite a bit different. They've had to tune the cars. One thing that's going to come in is reliability. They're not quite sure whether the cars are going to be reliable, and we may see some engine problems today.
And the word is consistency could be the biggest problems for the crews as we head into stage 1 for the first round of the championship. So it's Sam Murray on the start. This will be his first defence of the championship. And his first run with the young Englishman John Roughhead as his co-driver.
Well, Clint, this is not the start he expected. Bit of damage on that car. He's already been over. In fact, quite a bit of damage on that car.
Yes, bit of a rough start, all right. Eventually he retired in the same stage after crashing again, so not a good start for the defending champ. But Richard Mason will not be aware of course, the drama as he sits on the start line.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Mason has won this rally for the past 3 years, and he goes into the stage, the first stage, at home as the favourite.
Long 3 left.
Now look at the dust they've got to put up with here, Clint. A new rule they brought in this year is that the cars come in, or they start at 1 minute intervals as opposed to 2, and you can see there that Richard's got dust problems already. He's catching Sam Murray, who's already been off the road, so this will hamper Richard Mason in the first stage.
5 left plus long, 3 right plus. Repeat, 5 left plus long, 3 right plus.
Well, the dust is still a problem, and Richard, he's gone round. Bit of a problem already, Clint.
Well, this stage time, 13 minutes, 48.1, and he'll lose some time after that spin. So a demanding, frustrating start for Richard Mason as well. Hayden Patton next on the road. Team Green, the first of the Mitsubishis. A lot expected from the young man out of South Canterbury. And as you can see, Roger, it's a left-hand drive too.
And Clint, he's just hit something on the inside there, with obviously not used to the left-hand drive car. But isn't it interesting? The top 3 in trouble already.
So bad luck for Hayden. Looks like he's pinched the intercooler pipe. Shows in his time too. 15 seconds slower than Mason through the stage. So Dean Subner, the first driver to basically have a clean run, and it shows with his time. 13 minutes 36, 7.5 seconds quicker than Mason. Brett Martin leased his car to John Roggan for the New Zealand Production Racing Series. So while the car has plenty of mileage over the summer, Brett was feeling a little bit rusty at the start of the stage. His time, 13 minutes 56.5, actually slower than Mason. Could be a problem too for the next car on the road, Chris West.
Look at the dust Chris West has to put up with. I think he's actually catching Brett Martin through this stage. Now, Chris West, before the start of the rally, wasn't very happy about this 1 minute gap, and this is going to make matters worse. So I think towards the end of the stage, he's going to be an angry driver.
So let's see where that's going to leave the Mitsubishi driver at the stage end. He's 13:30.6, the fastest so far, and that's 24 seconds faster than Mason. Emma Gilmore's next through in her time. 13 minutes 43 puts her behind Sumner. Mark Tapper spent 2 years racing the Ford Fiesta Cup cars in that championship. This year he's back in the Rally Drive New Zealand Evo 8. Despite the car being an older model, he's tipped to be a front runner once again.
Yes, Clint, well, he was totally dominant with the Ford Fiesta last year, but just look at the road. There's a definite swept line there already, but you don't really want to get off line because you can see those big lines of gravel.
This is dodgy, 180.
But he's still quick, 13:23. He's the fastest, 7.5 seconds quicker than West. Stuart Taylor, 13:28. He's just 4 seconds off Tapper. Callum McInnes, he's just squeezes 3/10 off Taylor to move into third behind Tapper. So the gravel's been swept off and the cars are getting quicker. Last year, Nathan Thomas in his older Evo 7 actually led this rally for much of day one. This year again, he has the advantage of being in a great road position.
Certainly a great road position. Now this man, as you said, Clint, led the rally last year. He's got a very aggressive driving style. And look at him going through these series of corners, Clint. He looks very fast in this Mitsubishi. A good time coming up here, I think. Well, he's approaching the finish line, and I'll tell you, he's not backing off at all.
He's certainly on a mission.
Oh, look at that through the finish line, sideways.
A whopping 35 seconds better than Richard Mason. So once again, Nathan Thomas leads Rally Wairarapa. Mark Tapper making a great start second. Less than 2 seconds between McInnes in third and Weston fifth. Richard Mason, a lot of catching up to do back in eighth. And it's the rookie Andre Meyer who leads a close battle for the young drivers in the top 10. This is Rimu Road, stage 2, 9 kilometre sprint. And with Murray out, this is Mason first on the road. No dust to worry about, but still having to push hard. Through that loose gravel, his time 6 minutes 31.7.
Yeah, we had a lot of dust behind Sam on the first stage, and it was just terrible. And I couldn't see a corner, had a spin, and it was no good at all. Made some suspension changes between those two stages, and I think it's a bit better, but it's not quite there yet.
One on the road in your local rally now.
Well, that's a bit better. We like being one on the road, but I feel bad for all the guys behind us that are going to have a lot of dust issues.
50, flat 6 right in.
Hayden Patton is in real trouble here.
Line. 50.
He was 5 minutes late checking into the stage as he and co-driver John Kennard worked on trying to fix a bent intercooler pipe that was robbing the engine of any real power.
Well, talking about power, looks like they've got full power again, so they've obviously fixed that intercooler pipe. But that 5-minute clock-in meant a 50-second penalty onto his overall time.
30, Max sits right out. Blip. You're finished.
Well, he's flying over the finish line. I hope he's going to stop. Hayden, a bit of problem in stage 1?
Yeah, just a silly mistake on my behalf. I just cut a corner a bit much and hit a hole and crushed the intercooler pipe, so lost all power, 120 down the straights, and that was it. And so we're lucky not to do an oil cooler though, so we'll plot along and see what we can do.
Callum McInnes dropped out of third here with a slow stage time, back down to fifth. Chris West moved up a spot to fourth, but wasn't happy with his road position.
Into 6 right plus 30, 4 right, yep.
Just, really struggling with the what? Trying to be smooth, but maybe being too smooth, you know.
Westy, third quickest through there so far, 5th place through the first one.
Yeah, just a lot of shingle, like everyone's probably telling you, and dust is a factor. But just didn't feel right in there. But early days yet.
Stuart Taylor also moved up to third. Now just 9 seconds behind a second place in the flying Mark Tapper.
5 left, finest. Don't cut, 30. To 4.
Oh, watch out for the dog. Good skills.
7 right plus 30. Yeah, I know. 4 right plus and along 2 left.
So a bit of a dogged start there for a flying Mark Tapper. Came close to leading Nathan Thomas. By the end of the stage, the gap was just 16 seconds.
You're the fastest through the stage so far.
Yeah, it's good. I think we were second fastest in the first stage, but there's guys behind us obviously getting even better road, but we've got a pretty good position on the road, I think.
Right on board with Nathan Thomas now. What are those question marks about, Roger?
Well, Nathan Thomas from Wellington, and he can't find a sponsor to fund his National Rally Championship Series this year, so he's put the question marks there. But I tell you what, it'll be value for money for this guy. Nathan, you've obviously been trying a bit of damage on the rear.
Yeah, no harm with that, you know, but a corner or two won't hurt today, you know.
No harm with that. You did the same as you've done last year. You're leading the rally.
It's good news. Hopefully I can keep it up all day. There's always Mason and Patton and all the fast guys at the front, so if the stages get repeated, we'll be trying to keep ahead of them, so we'll see how we go.
Still a respectable lead.
It's good. I don't know how far we are, but I'll keep it as far away as I can to make it harder for them to call me back.
Just one more stage before service, but at 20 kilometres, Waihoki Valley Road was going to be a real good test for the drivers, cars and the tyres. So on board with Richard and Sarah Mason, laying down the gauntlet, demanding conditions, even for the front runners.
Very demanding conditions, and you can see Richard driving the ring out of this Subaru. Just look at these road conditions. Very, very heavy gravel build-up. And look at Richard, a little bit wide out there. Full commitment into the finish line.
His time, 13 minutes, 16.8. Now Hayden Patton still nursing his car through these stages. but he's not losing as much time as he was before. 6 seconds slower than Mason here. In fact, he's faster through the stage than Chris West by just 1.5 seconds.
Yes, Clint, Chris is really suffering from dust again. Once again, Brett Martin running ahead of him is 24 seconds slower through the stage than Westy, so that means that at the stage end, West is 35 seconds behind and the dust is still hanging in the air. This is terrible for Chris West's driving confidence.
30, 5 right plus, yep. God, that was hard.
No hanging around for Nathan Thomas, though. Continues to dominate the stages. He's the fastest again, takes another 8 seconds off Mason. He also extends his lead over Mark Tapper to 24.6 seconds. Plenty of great battles going on down the field too. Young guns, Kirsty Nelson, Sloane Cox, Andre Meyer fighting it out for the 10th place. Although copping a 10-second penalty for missing a stage start, dropped Nelson down to 16th. That gave rookie driver Andre Meyer the initial jump of the group. On stage 2, he was up to 9th overall. But Sloane Cox in his Evo 6 was 9th fastest on stage 3. Took the 9th overall spot, 18 seconds behind Emma Gilmore. Terrible start, though, for Brad Ayling, running Richard Mason's car from 2007. He struck steering problems and was struggling through the morning. Listen to the sound of Aaron Cook, first of the two-wheel drive cars on the road, the current Kiwi 2 champ. He wasted no time in establishing the leading place for the class, holding 14th overall by the end of stage 3.
Well, the car sounds impressive from the outside, but listen to it on the inside. It's brilliant. Now he's running 15th on the road. He's got a clear road. He's got to stay in those tracks. You get these front-wheel drive cars offline, you've got big problems.
Tightens to a long 4. Small crest and 4 right minus into a 4 left 80.
Big surprise, though, came from second in the class. A spirited drive coming from Patrick Malley out of the midsies into the New Zealand Truth Fiesta. He was just 5 seconds off Cook in stage 1. He beat him by 2 seconds on stage 2. Second in the class, 16th overall by the end of stage 3. Dave Strong next in his Kiwi 2 Honda Civic. But by the end of stage 3, he was 27 seconds off the pace. Southland's Chris Lang, the next best of the Fiestas. And attracting a lot of attention, the long-awaited debut of Reg Cook's Nissan Micra.
Yes, Clint, very interesting car. Built by Reg and Reg's workshop in South Auckland by his dedicated team of followers.
I've always been a Nissan man and I know my Nissans well, so I just thought, well, we'd see what we could do and make one work. And I wanted a car that would stay homologated for a long time, so this car will be legal for as long as I can probably do the sport, and it is a challenge to try and make something that's not a rally car into a rally car. It's more fun to do this than go and buy an existing car. It's sort of like being an artist. An artist gets a piece of canvas and they just put what they want on it. Well, we get a piece of canvas and we do the same thing, but it's with a car. And I think the satisfaction an artist gets at the end is exactly the same as us. I don't think it's any different. And there's a certain amount of self-satisfaction in achieving a goal. You know, I think Dave and me Strong are supposed to be competing for the ugliest car in our class, but I think his Hondas are worse than mine. But aerodynamically, they're very good, and our goal is to sort of knock off the Hondas if we can one day.
And from classic guys to classic cars, Bert Murray leading the class through the morning in his championship-winning RX-7. But talk about carnage behind him. Deborah Kibble briefly held second before demolishing her ex-Ralliart Lancer Turbo. Well, Deborah Kibble, we're talking carnage here. What happened to Ross Duncan's old Mitsubishi Lancer?
Stage 2 came through a 5 left quite nicely, and then just suddenly the car had a mind of its own and we shot left into probably the only corner that had huge rocks that didn't budge and ended on our lid.
How much damage has been done?
Yeah, it's a resale easy. But, you know, these things can be fixed, and it's just a matter of time and finding the parts for it.
She wasn't alone, though. Doug Breeden having a terrible start to his campaign, rolling that beautiful Escort.
Oh, we just got a little bit keen, I think, on stage 1. It was going all good and hit a bit of loose shingle and a culvert and rolled it 3 times down the road and come to rest against the lamppost. I'm a bit gutted, to be honest. The guys put a lot of work into the car over the last 2.5 months to get us here. and 6k in, we give them that. But we're going to get stuck in now. We've had the scrutineer have a look at it and see if we can beat and bash it with a sledgehammer and throw another screen in and bits and pieces, and we can come back tomorrow and just finish the day.
And defending champ Ewan Fuge also discovered he had run out of talent on the first stage.
Just got a bit slippery. We just went wide on a corner, and it just caught me out. The loose gravel. I didn't think we were going to hit. I thought we might have just touched lightly, but we hit quite hard in the back, and then the front come round, and then the rest is history, mate.
So by stage 3, it was Rob Wiley in the Nissan 240 RS in second. Australian Greg Poole was testing the New Zealand Rally waters in his Escort. Happy on the road, third in class. Well ahead of the gentleman of the classic field, Keith Frankham in the AE86 Corolla. And the Taranaki Cowcocky, Mike Cameron in his Lancer. Over 30 years of rallying and still going strong. So here's how they stand after 3 stages. Nathan Thomas has a 24.6 second lead over Mark Tapper. In 9th place, Sloane Cox leads the Young Guns in his Evo 6. Aaron Cook leads the two-wheel drive charge in 14th place. Patrick Malley, the fastest of the Fiestas. Bert Murray leads the Classics in 19th. Reg Cook leads the Veterans in 20th. And after 3 stages, Richard Mason immediately sets about changing the setup of the Subaru.
I thought it had a great setup. Start of the week we did some testing and our setup was fantastic, but it's just all gone out the window really on this loose gravel. So, we're going to do the same as we do at every Wairarapa rally, and the first 3 stages we don't go very good, and then we're going to have to claw it back from there. So the boys are frantic, and behind me they're going to sort out the wheel alignment and go back to the setup that we had at Rally New Zealand.
Chris West also making changes in service.
It's pretty tough out there with not only the dust but the gravel on the road, but we're reasonably happy.
Gravel affecting you quite badly?
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's. We're the same as everyone else, like I said, but it's more the dust that we've got an issue with. It's pretty dangerous in places, and there's a lot of blind spots and so forth. But hey, I guess we just have to contend with it, and it's something that hopefully the championship will work on in the future.
But for Hayden Patton, it's repair time as a new intercooler pipe replaces the damaged one.
Yeah, not a problem to fix. It's a 2-minute job to fix it. So, but out in the stage, it's a bit hard to fix it.
One bonus, you're going to run a little bit further down. Good road condition.
Yeah, the roads do seem better, but they are still very slippery. So we'll try and put the road conditions to our best use and go as quickly as we can.
But sadly for Sam Murray, there's no hope of a quick repair after his big roll.
We sort of were up against it a little bit, obviously the gravel, and that's no excuse, but we just clipped the inside of a corner coming into it, and it just sent it over pretty gently, but we got going again. Probably only lost 10 seconds, and then the same sort of thing happened again. The back end came around and we just got bellied and stuck, so we couldn't back out.
Meanwhile, the leaders are wondering how long they will hold on to an advantage.
Nathan, like last year, you've taken a rally lead after 3 stages.
And hopefully, unlike last year, we'll hang on to it for the rest of the day, all going well.
That last stage, I think you're 8 seconds quicker than Richard and Mark. Pulled a blinder.
Yeah, I love that stage. It's a bit tighter, a bit twistier. Suits my driving style, and I love the roads. You swing it in as hard as you like and deal with it. So it's good fun. It's my kind of roads.
Mark, 3 stages down, currently second.
Yeah, it's been, it's pretty slippery out there. I'd hate to be up the front with likes of Richard, and obviously Sam had a problem in stage 1. So I think we've got a pretty good road position, and, there's still more in it yet.
Stuart, some very good stage times this morning, but controversial in the second stage.
Yeah, we got given a time. We put in an inquiry, and it proved to be actually 19 seconds different. So we've actually improved up the leaderboard by 19 seconds. So pretty happy to get that sorted out.
With that 19 seconds, I think that would move you into 3rd place ahead of Chris West.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. We've been pushing along. I was determined to get through stages 3 and hopefully 4 coming up, because we've had little accidents there in the last 2 years. But no, we've got a great road position. The car's going really well. So just sort of sliding into pace.
35 kilometres Hot Acre Road, the big challenge of day 1 Rally Wairarapa. Richard Mason, first on the road, made some changes in service, so what effect will it have, Roger?
Well, they certainly made some changes. They did some work on the rear end of the car. You can see on the shots here that the car's a lot more stable on the road. They've also, I think, done a little bit of tyre cut as well to give it a bit of stability. Richard Mason's very determined himself. He's going to go out, as he said to us at the service, he's going to go out and drive as hard as he can because he is absolutely determined to win his home rally. And you can see he's doing just that.
Approaching the finish line now, Mason's time, 26 minutes, 27.2. And with Hayden Padden running down the order, he's dropped 5 places. Dean Sumner should be next through, but instead it's Brett Martin who appears through the dust. He's still got a problem.
Brett, you come out second on the road. Dean Sumner stuck in there.
Yeah, can't say exactly how far through, but he's sort of quite a fast bit at the stage. I think it looks like he's rolled over, but the car's back on its wheels and he's hit the OK sign up and he's just on the side of the road.
Great, thanks, Brett.
Okay.
So Sumner is out. Let's see if Chris West can make a gain here.
Into 5, right.
Well, this is Chris West's chance where he can make a major gain on the leaders through this stage. But you can see once again he's got this dust problem.
Don't cut. And 2.
In places it gets right down on the road and visibility is terrible.
He crosses the finish line. His time is going to be
6 left minus, tightens 4 left over finish, and 2 short 5 right.
26.43.1, slower than Mason.
Chris, 35 kilometres, how was it for you?
Apart from the dust, mate, I don't like complaining, but that is just out of control. That is ludicrous, it's bloody dangerous. We've got expensive cars, great championship, and 1 minute gaps when there hasn't been rain for how long. But hey, let's move on. It's all the same for everyone, and we did the best we could. We lost a lot of time, but same for everyone, I guess.
Mark Tapper next on the road. He'll have to put on a good time here if Mason is climbing the leaderboard. And there's confirmation of Dean Sumner. His car out and crashed on the road. So that's a big disappointment for Dean Sumner, who was going very well.
Yes, it certainly is, Clinton. Also, it looks like there's quite a bit of damage to that Mitsubishi. So a bad start for the championship for Dean.
Yes, a costly mistake in the first rally.
But look at Mark Tapper through here. He's throwing his car around.
No surprise for Tapper. His time 26 minutes 46.9, just enough to keep him 7 seconds ahead of Richard Mason. Now it's Team Green, Hayden Padden, 15th after stage 3. Repaired the intercooler, back in the hunt.
6 left.
Well, Clint, you saw in the previous shot a big cut, so he's really trying, and this is where he can make a gain on this big long stage. And looks like the dust isn't really affecting him too much at this stage.
30, 6 left out, 4 left plus line. 4 right plus open fight.
Let's check out his time. 26 minutes 44.5, well down on Mason, but probably enough to move him into the top 10.
Bloody hell, it's crazy, Slippy.
The tyre's too hard. That's not helping. Just skating on top, it's spinning.
So, has Nathan Thomas done enough to hold on to his lead, at least for the next 2 stages?
Look at the road conditions he's got here. Nice smooth roads, and also it appears to have no dust at all. Oh, Nathan's just blowing it there. He's gone a little bit too hot in that corner and into the bank.
Car doesn't sound very good.
No, it doesn't sound good at all, Clint. And the clock doesn't stop ticking. So he's losing time.
And more question marks once again for Nathan Thomas. So that moves Stuart Taylor into the lead of the rally. His stage time, 26 minutes 26.2, just a second faster than Mason, but now in the lead by 6.7 seconds over Tapper.
Stuart, big smile on your face. You got through stage 4 at long last.
Yeah, this is the furthest I've been for 3 years, so no, it feels good. I just need to get through the next 4 stages or 3 stages today and get it home. So no, it's good out there.
Emma Gilmore also out on this stage with failed power steering. But Callum McInnes now 5th in a similar Subaru. And an outstanding effort coming from the young 16-year-old driver, Sloane Cox, moving up 3 places, 6th outright, just in front of Hayden Padden. Andre Meyer, 2nd in the juniors, 8th. Northland's Kirsty Nelson had fought back from stage 1 disaster, now lying 10th overall, 22 seconds behind Brett Martin, just 4.3 seconds ahead of Grant Barber. Barber was having his first outing in the Subaru WRX after taking a break from rallying in 2007. Now, Stage 5 was a repeat of Special Stage 1, so now Richard Mason was back on equal ground.
Yes, look at these smooth roads. The difference in traction is enormous.
And 3 right plus open.
Same place.
Well, that's where he crashed earlier, so maybe they need to have a look at those pace notes.
But despite that, though, he's still over a minute quick. He does a 12-minute 52.4. So can Chris West also improve here?
Well, his time is 12 minutes 56.8. That's just over 4 seconds off Richard Mason. Great time.
Mark Tapper won't have any advantage here, though. Second position could be under threat.
Look at the road condition he's got here, and he's driving pretty hard, and he's just gone round as well. Well, Clint, he'll lose a bit of time here.
In fact, he dropped 16 seconds back to third, 9 seconds now, down on Mason.
5 right, 30, 2 right.
Stuart Taylor improved his time through here, just 4 seconds down on Mason, so holds on to the rally lead. Callum McInnes, fourth fastest through the stage. He holds on to a top 5 spot. Hayden Patton continued to climb up the leaderboard, now 6th ahead of Sloane Cox. So Stuart Taylor leads the rally from Richard Mason with 2 stages left to run on leg 1. Good effort from Callum McInnes. Patton on a charge to make up lost time. Great effort by Cox and Andre Meyer and the juniors, 7th and 9th.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I'd come to this event just wanting to find my feet. I haven't been in the car for a long time, so I really am surprised to be where I am. But I think with Warwick and I've talked about it, we'll just carry on pushing on as we are, and hopefully we'll get to the end of today. And then we'll just form a plan of attack next week for tomorrow. Sorry.
We had a suspension setup problem on the first 3 stages, and I've got a habit of doing it here, so maybe I like making it harder for myself. But it's certainly been a lot better in the afternoon stages, but we've got a long way to go, I think, with it as well. So it could be faster yet.
You're currently 5th, but only 4 seconds behind 4th place Chris West.
Yeah, it's been going a lot better since our last service, so hopefully we can push on and maybe catch him up a bit.
15 seconds separates you from the leader, so you're not far away.
Nah, not far at all, and the way the car's going, like I say, since the last service, hopefully we can get a bit closer to the top.
In the two-wheel drive battle, Dave Strong finally took a stage win in the Honda Civic, and in doing so closed within 4 seconds of the Fiesta of Patrick Malley. Malley lost time to both Aaron Cook and Strong in the long stage 4, and again in stage 5, and had to concede the second spot to Strong.
To a 6 right plus.
But Aaron Cook now had a comfortable 30-second lead over Strong and was lying in 12th place overall.
Narrow bridge. Back onto gravel.
Well, look at that, Clint. He just missed that bridge coming into that corner.
Talking of damage, Chris Lang's challenge ended on stage 5 when he crashed off the road and damaged the Fiesta's gearbox and engine mounts. Bert Murray was the fastest of the classics, but also was involved in a ding-dong battle with Reg Cook in the Nissan Micra for 16th place overall. Now, Cook had come through stage 4 16 seconds faster than Murray, not to be outdone by the little wee Nissan. Bert came through, took up the challenge, beat him on stage 5, moved ahead by 0.7 seconds, while Cook maintained 4th place in Kiwi 2. You sound good, look good, and everything's smooth and fast.
You know, we're okay. There's 3 guys fighting for the lead in our class, and I'm a little bit back, so I don't think I can catch them, so I'm just going to cruise to the finish, and we'll be 4th.
And Rob Wiley was 2nd in the Classics class, over a minute buffer too from the Aussie Greg Poole in the Escort. So 2 stages left to run. The 15-kilometre Porty Road, then a short 13-kilometre blast through North Road just out of Masterton. Nathan Thomas had lived out of stage 4 and 5 and made temporary repairs to the Mitsubishi, which they now suspected had blown a head gasket. But he was able to make short, fast runs through these stages. 6th on stage 6, 8th on stage 7.
Clint, a great effort to get this car home, and of course he gets some points for the Rally Championship.
Brad Ailing had teething problems but brought the Subaru home in 15th, scoring points in the Rookie Championship. Kirsty Nelson, 12th overall, 20 points towards the Junior Championship. Grant Barber, a cautious start, rewarded with a top 10 finish on day one. Might be an older Mitsubishi, but the junior driver Sloane Cox pushed all the way to finish an outstanding ninth. He was just 9.2 seconds behind fellow junior and rookie Andre Meyer on the older model Subaru WRX. The battle between these two shaping up to be fantastic. Brett Martin brought his Evo home in 7th. Not a great start to the season. Hayden Padden recovered from his stage 1 mistake to claim 6th overall.
7 right, 87 left over finish. 300 to stop.
And on the bright side of the day, he actually was the first junior driver home.
That's it.
Definitely feels down on torque.
Sorry?
Doesn't feel like it's got the torque it had.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting comment, Clint, because they've changed to pump gas. Maybe that's why they're down on torque.
That certainly has been the talk of the day amongst some of the drivers. Great drive home too for Callum McInnes in 5th. Held 4th place until the final stage, pushed back by just 2 seconds by a flying Chris West. Frustrating day for Westy and co-drive with all the dust, but at least a positive turn of speed for the ex-champion. A bit like Mark Tapper making a great return to the top end of the championship. 3rd position, just 11.2 seconds off the eventual winner. But a mistake in the rally timing results on an earlier stage had Richard Mason thinking by stage 7 he had won another day of his home event.
Richard, certainly sound like you're on the rev limiter coming towards the end here.
Yeah, I know. It sounded bloody good to me too.
And so have you done enough? You had a 4-second lead coming in.
I hope so. We certainly tried fairly hard in there, so I don't know. As long as we don't get done by swept roads, then we should be right.
Great, thanks.
However, a check on the computer stage results late on Saturday night revealed that Stuart Taylor had held on to win the day by the narrowest of margins. How narrow? 0.9 of a second. And at the other class battles, Aaron Cook held on to his 2-wheel drive lead to finish 11th overall. Have a 21-second lead over second in class Dave Strong.
What a fantastic day he's had today. Aaron Cook, you call this his home event. He's from Wellington. He drove beautifully today, really throwing down the challenges to the other 2-wheel drive competitors, particularly this man, Dave Strong, who's determined to beat Aaron Cook, but he has a bit of work to do, Clint.
Yes, watch this space, Roger. Patrick Malley backed off late in the day, finished 3rd, the only surviving Ford Fiesta. Bert Murray cruised to a 4-minute victory in the Classics, finishing 16th overall. Ahead of Rob Wiley in that beautiful sounding Nissan 240 RS. A minute ahead of the Aussie, Greg Poole. So confirming those results, Stuart Taylor, 0.9 of a second, in front of Mason with Tapper 3rd.
Hayden Padden, the leading junior, and Andre Meyer, the leading rookie.
Aaron Cook, 11th overall, 1st in 2-wheel drive. Patrick Malley, 14th, the 1st in the Fiestas.
Look at Bert Murray, 16th, 1st in the Classics and the RX-7.
0.9 of a second. This must be the first time the Masons actually lost a rally in his home patch before. So that means it changes the result. It's a great result for Stuart Taylor. But can you believe a day like this sort of carnage? It started from stage 1, the defending champ out right from the get-go.
Well, it certainly did. And the defending champion, Sam Murray, he not only crashed once, he actually went off the road twice in that first stage. Other drama, Nathan Thomas took an early lead. He had motor problems about stage 4. He dropped right out. Emma Gilmore, she dropped out. And I've just had a look at Dean Sumner's car. He crashed out on stage 4. The car is totally wrecked. And I've just spoken to Dean Sumner.
Tightening right-hander and the car went a little bit wide and it tagged the bank with the back of the car, which sucked the front in. But unfortunately there was a driveway there and the sump guard dug into the driveway, which caused us to roll. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but unlucky, I suppose you could say.
Once the old sump guard digs in like that, you just totally no control whatsoever.
Yeah, it just sort of picked the back of the car, really, and just flipped us over. So had no control at that stage, but I didn't think it was too much of a problem until that happened. So
disappointment for Dean Sumner there. He has to look forward to the second round rally of Otago, but as you've seen before, we can confirm that Richard Mason has lost a leg in this rally before to Chris West, but he's never lost this rally before. So let's look ahead to leg 2, mate. The gravel, the dust, what a day it's going to be.
Well, what a day it's going to be, and I'll tell you, I don't know what's going to happen after today's drama, but a couple of things that will happen. Dust will be a problem again. Heavy gravel build-up on the stages will be a problem. Richard Mason will be very, very fast on those roads out the back of Eka Tahuna, so who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, Clint?
And with just 0.9 of a second between him winning and losing today's first leg, he will be barred up for a big go in the second one. So make sure you join us for that Trust House Race Tech second leg of the Rally of Wairarapa. Wairarapa is home to